Here is my take on Anna White's wall cubby shelf. I will link her plans below, and if you're interested in these specific plans, keep on watching.
1, 2, 3, come on!
So I want 2 long shelf organizers, and so I'm going to start with 2 1x4s and a 1x6. You can obviously change the dimensions to whatever you would like using whatever boards you like. I was looking for a 1x3 and I didn't see it at the big box store, so I'm just going to stick with my 1x4s. And the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to cut them down in half. And so they should be about 4 feet long for each shelf.
I started by lining up all my boards together and cutting them all at once so that I knew that each piece would be the same length. I placed the 1x6 upright to play as the back piece, and then the 1x4 on the bottom and a 1x4 in the front. I then took a scrap 1x4 and I marked the bottom and top of that board, as you can see, then transferred that angle to the other 1x4 and lined up my chop saw at that angle. I then proceeded to just cut out a whole bunch of pieces so that would mark as the dividers of my shelf. After that, I did a dry fit of all of these pieces and tried to decide the layout that would best work for the purpose that I needed the shelf to be. My favorite part about the shelf is that it's super universal. You can change it to fit whatever needs you want. You can have big cubbies, you can have small cubbies, you could just have no cubbies and just have a long shelf where you can store books. And you can add coat hangers on the front. Whatever you decide to do, they're super versatile and I love them for that reason. Once I had that decided, I went ahead and sanded all of the pieces so that they were smooth. I started the assembly by gluing the bottom piece to the back piece and nailing from the back side into the bottom piece with the nail gun. Next, I glued and nailed the 2 side pieces. Because I decided I wanted a 2-tone look, I decided to paint this main piece and the front piece rather than trying to paint around each divided piece. You can do it however you prefer. I just thought this would be the easiest way for me, and then to go back and touch up spots that I needed after I assembled the rest. For the first slots, I used a 2x2 as a spacer, and then by the time I got to I think it's the 4th slot, I flipped that 2x2 sideways to make that portion a little bit bigger. And then I decided to nail from the back side first, all of those divider pieces, using that 2x2 as a spacer, then flipping it on the back side and nailing from the bottom. Then I divided the center space into 2 separate sections and nailed in that last divider in the middle. With all the divider pieces in, I decided to glue and nail the last front portion of the shelf. This next part is totally optional, but I wanted to add a little personalization, and so I printed off some vinyl numbers and I did a numbered system 1 through 10 on the first shelf and 11 through 20 on the next shelf. And here are the 2 shelves, both with a slight variation. I I hope you like my take on Anna White's Cubby wall shelf. I really like how it has a more modern look to it, and it is the perfect organizer for all of my kids' school supplies, especially during this pandemic when we're going to be doing lots of homeschool. Again, there are multiple ways that you can use and build this shelf. I will show you a couple versions here with this piece and then with its next piece, which is a coat slash backpack hook that you could put books or other items within the shelf. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.